I'm Kim.
And I'm Jamie. Thank you for coming to our virtual evening workshop on tools to create an interactive classroom.
So before we start, we'd like to tell you a little about ourselves.
Hi, my name is Jamie Shimizu. I'm a native San Diegan and grew up going to the Buddhist temple of San Diego with my parents who also grew up at this temple. I am currently co-teaching the pre-K through 4th grade class and have been a Dharma school teacher for the past 15 years. I'm also the co-recording secretary for the Buddhist temple of San Diego Dharma School.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Kruse. I'm on the board of directors for the Buddhist Temple of San Diego. I'm also co-recording secretary for the Buddhist Temple of San Diego Dharma School and recording secretary for the Southern District Dharma School Teachers League. So I have two children that are students in the Dharma School, one that's in 4th grade and one that's in pre-K. They've been attending our temple since they were less than a week old. However, I grew up attending services and involved in the Dharma School and junior YBA at the Fresno Betsyne. So in this workshop, we'll explore a couple of online applications, show some examples, and give a brief tutorial on how to create some interactive games for your classroom. So please note, in order to play these games, each student will need a computer, laptop, tablet, or smartphone. This doesn't require downloading a new application. There's no need to create a new their own login, and it's available through any web browser.
So first we'll show some short clips from when we ran a Kahoot game and also a Mentimeter quiz with members of our temple. And we'll also provide an overview of how to create your own quiz in Kahoot for your class. We'll finish off by going over our thoughts on both applications and provide you with some additional tools and resources. So we'll begin with Kahoot. So I recommend using Kahoot for students 12 and up. We actually tried a little bit this past weekend and it actually worked with the younger kids, but I think it'd probably work a little bit better with older kids. So to begin, you would, for logging in, you can open up a web browser. You can use your tablet, cell phone. This is for the users who are going to be playing on your device. You can even go on your computer and do it as well. You will type in the www.kahoot.it, or you can do kahoot.it. Once you type it in, your screen, you should, at least for the user side, it will pull up a new page and you'll have to type in a code which will show up on the presenter screen or whoever is running the game. So from there, you can type in your nickname and do all of that to be able to be a participant in the Kahoot game. So we'll go ahead and show a short clip of one of the games that we ran with the high school class from our temple. So who was Shinran Shonin's teacher? Renyo, Honen, Hanen, and Zenshin. Ooh. So the correct answer was Honen. All right.
So little fun fact on that one. The other 3 names were other names for Shinran Shonin.
Yes. Okay, so in what country was the first Starbucks opened outside of North America? Outside of North America. Oh, so it was Japan. Very good, whoever got that. Ooh, Ava, she's topping the leaderboards. All right, so true or false? Taylor Swift's first hit single to hit #1 was "We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together." right, so it was true. I didn't know that either. We had to look it up. So, all right, so Ava's still in the lead by a lot. Okay, so that was a clip from, again, the high school class testing out or trying out playing the Kahoot game with us. As you saw, there was a couple of varieties in there. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next part, which will be the Mentimeter with Kimberly.
So we recommend using menti.com for students like second grade and up. It's pretty user-friendly, but if you wanted to involve any of your younger students, you can probably with the help of their parents, just because of the whole typing in the numbers or going to the website, typing in numbers, that sort of thing. And I think just with the virtual learning, around second grade seems to be a little bit more able to be a little more independent on the computer. So to create a presentation or a quiz in Mentimeter, the host or the teacher would log into mentimeter.com. So that's MENTIMETER.com to create the presentation. However, I just want to clarify. So however, per the instructions that will be on the screen for the quiz at the start of the quiz and actually on any screen, the participants would log into menti.com, MENTI.com. So menti.com, it's a user-friendly, very user-friendly, and can be accessed from any computer, laptop, tablet, or smartphone. There's no need to download an application or create an account, as we had said earlier, and the participants would just need internet connection. So they would simply open up a web browser, type in www.menti.com, and enter the code provided on the screen. Directions are also provided on the top of every screen. So if someone joins late or gets cut off from the internet, which happens way more often than we like, they'll be able to join or rejoin at any time. So what's great is that you see the full question answers on your device. So if you have one computer screen up for both the Zoom class session and then there's a Mentimeter during the class, you don't have to keep toggling back and forth. To be able to see it, you'll see it on your web browser, no matter what device you're on. So there's two main types of questions in Mentimeter. So there's like the presentation questions, which are like multiple choice, word cloud, open-ended ranking, and Q&A. And then there's also the quiz competition, which is more like a game. So for the quiz competition, you can set it up so that after each question, a leaderboard screen pops up so everyone can see their standing. The faster the participants answer correctly, the more points they'll receive. And throughout the game, they'll see how they move up or down on the leaderboard, which is kind of fun. And at the very end of the quiz competition, the final leaderboard standings will show up on the screen. It makes for a great interactive game, especially with virtual learning. We've had to find alternative ways to teach and have some fun activities with the students. So the other portion of Mentimeter that we've used is the presentation mode. So that's where these would be like the multiple choice questions or the open-ended questions that can be used to spark participation or conversation. And the responses can be downloaded at the end of the presentation. So especially for workshops or interactive classes, this can be a great tool to receive feedback and share the thoughts of the participants. An example is that I asked for our high school students for ideas on what types of virtual activities they would like to do under our Dharma School theme of wellness. So I've shared this with our Dharma School staff and hope to incorporate some of these this year. So we'll show a couple of video clips, one of each, the presentation and the quiz. So the first is from an activity with our Dharma School high school class. And then the second from a game we played at the beginning of one of our temple activities committee meetings. So at the top of your screen, you'll see a go-to, and it's www.menti.com. And there is an 8-digit code to type in. Oh, some great examples. So what do you think of when you think of temple? So there's family, meditation, sangha. Kind people. I love that. And meditation, peace. Luncheons. Yes, I definitely think of a lot of food when I think of temple. I think my kids do too. Good food, sangha, friends are some of our most common answers in there. Gathas, wheel of Dharma, peace. So I love this, especially because I think really right now being at home, thinking about the Sangha, thinking about our friends that we don't necessarily get to see in person right now. I think it's great reminders of all the wonderful things that we'll be able to do and see when we get back to being back at Temple in person. Okay, so I'll go ahead and go to the next slide. So what virtual activities would you like to do with Dharma School under the current year's theme of wellness? So do you have any ideas for what you'd like to do? Anything related to wellness, whether it's an activity that we can do as a whole Dharma School, maybe even the high school teachers might be able to get some ideas of what you might like. Oh, yoga, that sounds great. Oh, I love sound healing. That was wonderful, Anne. Your friend's sound healing was fantastic. I still think of it. Yoga. I haven't done yoga in years, and I feel like it would be so wonderful to do together. Something that we can definitely do over Zoom and be able to share that time together. Listening to music. Group meditations. I love all of these answers. So thank you guys so much. And I'll share these responses with everyone after, just if you'd like to look back at it and think of anything else. Spa day, that sounds fantastic. So this is a clip from our activities meeting. It was more of like a game. So I just took a couple of questions from here just to show what Mentimeter looks like for the quiz competition. So if everyone is ready,
yes.
Or is anyone still logging in?
I think I'm ready.
No.
Okay, all right, great. So we'll have these questions. It'll pop up. It's a multiple choice, and so the right answer gets points. The faster you answer the right answer, you get more points. So it's a matter of accuracy and speed. So.
Oh, okay. Oh.
A lot of quick answers on that one. Ooh. Yay! Coming up.
Yay! Juliana's birthday.
Oh. Couple more weeks.
Who's a magic rhino?
Me. Fantastic. Okay, I think that's the last question.
Uh-oh.
So again, faster time. So who sings the song Say So? Anyone?
TikTok. Anyone know TikTok?
I knew this one.
I have no idea.
You did? Oh my goodness. Wow. Fantastic.
Ooh, I just saw her on TV.
You're so cool.
Really?
I like this song.
I didn't even know who this was. And I didn't even know what Say So was, and I've never really, I don't know much about TikTok.
I don't either.
Neither do I, but I just know this.
I think I dropped off the chart. Yeah, it's still on the screen. Not bad.
So how can this be applied to Dharma School classroom? So you can use the games and quizzes as a fun opportunity to promote learning about the Dharma. Or as a teacher, you can use this as an excuse to learn a little bit more about the pop culture and the interests of your students as you're putting together the quiz games for your class. So as you can see, as we put together these games, a lot of it, you know, we're probably not on, Jamie and myself, we're probably not on the same scene as like the high school students, but we were able to kind of brush up on a little bit of that too. And you can also use it to start a discussion on current events or get feedback or even get input from the students on what they might want to learn about or discuss in class. As I mentioned, Mentimeter can also be used as a tool to promote participation from everyone. So what's great about it is it can be completely anonymous. The presentation with the high school kids, and the first question was, what do you think about when you think of temple? So that was an example of a word cloud. So it really does look like a cloud of words, and it's anonymous again. When multiple people have the same response, the word or phrase grows larger and emphasizes the common response. So I think this is great, not only because of the visualization, but it also gives the participants the feeling that they're not alone. So they're not the only ones that may be thinking of that phrase or that thing, or you know, especially you know, as if we talk about current events or things that might be going on in their life, they might, and it's a great way to kind of feel together with everyone too.
So we're going to actually go over and go through creating your own Kahoot game quiz if you haven't done so already. I realize that they've done a lot of upgrades, I believe, since you know, since we've been staying at home. So there was even a lot for me to learn too. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so first, maybe I'll go over very briefly, just in general. If you don't have an account, a Kahoot account, it's very easy to sign up. You'll actually go to kahoot.com instead of kahoot.it, which is where you would go to play for people who are playing or students who are playing the game. That's what they would use. But to set up an account and to log into your accounts, you would go to kahoot.com. And then it's fairly easy. You just sign up, click sign up, and it'll go through just a couple of series of questions, like if you're doing it as a teacher, you know, for personal, for work, or if you're a student doing it to help you with maybe studying. And then it'll ask you to sign up and create a username and all of that stuff. So once you have that all set up, we'll go ahead and start a Kahoot quiz. So first we're gonna obviously log in. So all of the stuff that you would need is at the top right. There's the sign up and then the login if you already have an account. So I'll go ahead and sign in. Okay. So it actually looked quite different when I logged in. It had been quite some time since I had logged in the last time I used Kahoot, but they do have a lot of new features, which is really nice. So this is the home page. It'll pretty much show you everything that you need, all the quizzes you create, and then there's things such as reports and other stuff that I'll go over a little bit at the end. So to create a quiz, you'll go up here to the top right to click create. You can also choose from other quizzes that people have made as well, but we'll go ahead and create our own. So we will do that, click on create. I think I clicked it. A new box will pop up. They have templates for you already set, but since we're going to create our own, we're going to go ahead and choose this one. And what actually pops up to me, it reminds me of a PowerPoint, like if you're creating a PowerPoint for, you know, a PowerPoint slide presentation or even Google Slides. So you'll generate your questions and everything here and your answers. To the left, this is where all of your quiz slides or your question slides will be. And then to the right here is where you can, more tailor it more to what type of question, how long, and if you want points, and if you want to more than one correct answer. So a couple of things. So we'll go ahead and start off with our own. I'll just start off with that way. So we'll just go ahead and make up a question here. So what is celebrate? Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. So this is a quiz question. So this is a more, that's considered more multiple choice. And you can type in whatever answers you want here. And be sure to type in the correct answer too. So you get 4 choices. Birthday. Nirvana Day. Hanamatsuri. And I'll just put none of the above. Okay, and then go ahead and you're going to click, check the correct answer. So I'm going to choose Hanamatsuri here. And it'll put a green check mark right there. You can do the time limit. It starts off at 5, and from there it goes in 10-second increments up to 4 minutes. I'm just going to leave it at 20 seconds. 10 seconds seems to be a little quick sometimes. Standard points, and since this is just going to have one correct answer, I'll keep it single select. And then from here, if you want to create another question, you could either add a question here, and it'll give you the 2 options. So for the free subscription of Kahoot, it is a little limited where you can only do the quiz option or the true and false option. But if you do the other more paid subscriptions, then you get a little bit more in terms of what type of questions you can choose. And I also found out that they have this question bank here in case you don't kind of get stuck on any questions that, that you can't think of, or so if you type in like how is, and a bunch of questions that start with how is pop up, and you can add those in yourself. And you can also import a spreadsheet with questions, which I just found that out actually more recently. They have a template as well. So if you want to do it that way and just, make up questions beforehand, you can download the template, and it's fairly easy to use. So you can import it that way. So maybe I'll just try, I'll import, because there's actually a couple questions that I did. So I'll go ahead and import the Excel sheet that I had already kind of filled out beforehand. Let's see here. So it will download as Kahoot quiz template. And I just left it that way so that it's easier to kind of find it in my computer. And once it uploads, you can add the questions, and from there, it will add all these other questions in here. So what is Bodhi Day? They already had a kind of their own question that they already did. So once you have those questions in, you can enter your title up here if you want to beforehand, otherwise it'll ask you afterwards. You can duplicate slides, delete any slides or questions that you don't want. And then let's see, so we'll go ahead. I believe we have 5. So we have 5 questions here. So we'll leave it at that so that we can kind of go to testing it out. So once you're all finished, you're going to go up here and click done. And then you can title it, I'll just title it Dharma School for now. And then if you want to enter a description, you can. And then we'll go ahead and click continue. I think the nice thing about this is you could actually add pictures too. I forgot to mention that. You can add pictures to make it more, just look a lot cooler, I guess, if you're asking pop culture quizzes or questions, or even just general questions about Buddhism or anything, you can put pictures in there. They have a library and everything else, or you can upload your own. So once you finish your quiz, you can test it out. You can either play the quiz right now with people that, you know, that you're ready to play with, maybe if you're playing with friends, and you can share it with others so that they can actually use it as well. So I would suggest testing it first to make sure it goes the way you want to. And what it'll do is it'll actually, which is nice, it will kind of show side by side what the screen will look like for the player, and then what your presentation will look like, so that you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like on both sides. So over here, this is what the students would see, or if you're, you know, doing it more for fun, or whoever's playing the game, it'll look like this. And once you play, you can have the option of making it more, I guess, just tailoring it more to how you want it, in terms of if you want them to choose their own nicknames, they can randomize the questions and also the answers. So you can, and the more popular choice, I guess, for team mode versus classic is the classic one, where it's one-on-one. Team mode, I haven't played that one yet. I think I'll have to test that out a little bit more. So this is where you would test it out. Let's see. So I don't know if I'll test it out right now, but we'll go ahead and see. So I'll just go back to the screen so that you can kind of see where everything goes after that. So once you click done, it'll take you to where all of the quizzes that you create, it'll put them in one spot. So I've already made a handful of them. And it's nice because it'll show you, you know, how many plays there have been. So which is nice. The homepage, it kind of shows you everything here, all the reports. It's pretty user friendly, I feel like. And again, there's a section where you can find other quizzes that people have made if you're, you know, running a little low on creating your own questions or anything. So you can do that way. So, so that's how you create a Kahoot quiz.
So just kind of in our opinion, they're both really user-friendly apps. It's really, I think the most difficult part is just knowing where to click to start. And then once you get into the screen and start adding questions, everything, it really does flow. It's pretty easy to use. So both Kahoot and Mentimeter have like a free option, but as Jamie was saying, it can be a bit limited. So with the free option for Kahoot, you can, it allows up to 100 questions, but there are limitations to the type of questions in Kahoot using the free version. But there is still like decent functionality for a limited size class. And then also just looking into like the plans, it might be something even to consider as like a Dharma school to invest in something like that. So that any of the classrooms, maybe it could be like a shared account with the teachers or something. And so the same thing with Mentimeter, it's very user friendly. The interface is pretty simple, as the questions and the answers show up on the user device. So with Kahoot, it kind of looks like, if anyone remembers the game of Simon, with the 4 colors, the red and the yellow and the green and blue, I think. And it was like, so it's like a square of 4 different colors. And that's what would typically show up on a basic Kahoot game. Whereas like Mentimeter, it shows up both the question and answer on there, which I think is kind of nice. So the free version of Mentimeter allows for an unlimited size audience and unlimited number of presentations. However, it only allows for up to 2 question slides or 5 quiz slides per presentation, unless you upgrade to like a basic account. And after you're done, you can export the responses from the presentations if you like to record it or share maybe with the class after the presentation. And then they can download the full pictures or can download a summary of everything, which is pretty nice. So overall, both are similar for the user that is setting up the game or quiz, and both applications are user friendly once you have set up your host account.
So also we also wanted to kind of share some other online tools and resources that you could use for your classroom. So in addition to Mentimeter and Kahoot, and as some of you may have already experienced in the workshops earlier today, there was a variety of different online platforms that a lot of the workshops used, depending on which group you were in. So things like Nearpod, Jamboard, quizzes, Flipgrid, Google Classroom, Edpuzzle, Whiteboard. So a lot of them, I think, like quizzes, I think that one is a little bit more similar to maybe more quiz-based learning. So, and then the other ones are, you know, maybe like Google Classroom is, might be something that's kind of like how Zoom is more of a classroom management in terms of how to, you know, for your classroom, and you can, I think, post assignments there and everything too. So there are a ton of tools and online resources that you can use. You just might have to search it out a bit. And again, I'm sure you guys used a lot of them today, so which is nice.
So thank you for virtually attending our workshop. We wish we could have presented this in person and that we could have had everyone participate in these games. However, we hope that this provides you with some tools and resources to help enhance your virtual classroom or even in-person classroom when that time comes, and make it technologically interactive.
And as we close today's workshop, we wanted to leave you with a quote from Gautama Buddha. So we'll go ahead and put our hands together in Gasho. Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. So we hope that you learned at least a little from our evening workshop. And thank you again for everyone for attending. Okay, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.